Anat Bar-Gera, thank you so much for joining us here at INSEAD Knowledge. You are the chair of an internet service provider in Africa, 4G
Africa.
4G Africa, yes. And we're just hearing here how Africa, the African economy is beginning to take off, investment is rising, lots of opportunities there for foreign investors. Can you tell us a bit about your experience in Africa?
Thank you very much, Nick. I'm very happy to be here. Our experiences in Africa have been positive in the sense that we feel that the economy is booming. GDP growth of about 5%. There are some countries with double-digit growth. I'm talking in particular about sub-Saharan Africa, where our market is. We make also a very positive and encouraging and exciting experience by the fact that what we provide is broadband internet service. So Africa has a fantastic demography in the sense that more than 50% of the population is under the age of 18. That means that the people who are of particular interest for us, because they are the natural uptakers of the internet service, they are there. This is the place for us to go. Africa has, sub-Saharan Africa has a very low broadband penetration, internet. But I'm talking about the real broadband penetration, the real experience of a speedy service where you can go to YouTube without it being stuttering, and where you can go over and do Skype telephone calls over the internet and get your emails and surf in a speedy manner. So it is a very good place for us to operate. There is very little copper in the ground. Penetration of this real broadband internet is something around 1 to 2 to 3%. So the opportunity is very large, and we feel our take-up by the market. We feel the excitement by the young generation. We're now operating in Cameroon. This is our first country. We go to universities. People are just grabbing it, and they want to live the experience, and they are very excited and very loyal about it.
So for the moment, you're just in one country, Cameroon. What has been the history so far? When did you start up, and how much growth have you seen?
We started officially at 2009, but in reality we launched our services in Cameroon, which is our first operating country, in 2011. So we started in May last year in the largest two cities, which is Yaoundé and Douala, and we've seen a fantastic growth. It's about 1,000 new subscribers per month, so we're getting to 10,000 subscribers. Very many followers on Facebook, more or less the same amount, big usage, and a lot of interest by the people.
I imagine the investment costs are pretty high for a project like this. How quickly do you think you'll be able to break even and start making a profit?
Yeah, that's true. Such a project is costly because what we're doing, we're wiring those cities, so we're putting our base stations there. First, we buy the licenses, we acquire them from the regulator, we wire the cities, we deploy them, and then we start to acquire subscribers by selling them our product. A break-even, the whole model is very modular in the sense we didn't start Cameroon for Cameroon. Our mission is to help close the digital divide, and our vision is to give broadband internet access, affordable, reliable, speedy and stable, to the business and people of sub-Saharan Africa. So Cameroon has been for us the first place, and we're going to expand to additional countries. We're already in sub-Saharan Africa. We already have 3 other licenses there, and we are on our way to acquire additional licenses. A country in general should break even for our operation in something around 2 years. So it's very modular in the sense that we start a country should break even, we're not waiting for the next one, and this is what we expect from our next countries in which we will be expanding.
And I imagine you've encountered problems, like any company going to a new market. What sort of problems have you had to face?
For us, it was a very interesting experience because what we're doing now, providing broadband internet service, is something that we've done before. We had a similar company, the same team of people, so that's telecom entrepreneurs. I've been doing it always with my husband, who is also an INSEAD alumni, by the way. And We've done it in emerging markets in East Europe, where we got the idea that wireless, broadband, internet access is the perfect thing for these countries where you don't have copper in the ground. Now, going to Africa is a totally different experience. The main thing that we learned, we had a very steep learning curve in this 1.5 or 2 years of operations in Cameroon. The main thing that we learned is that we need to tackle the manpower issue. So we assembled a very good group of 50 local people on our team in Cameroon, where the operation is. But it wasn't easy to tap the right manpower and to get the talent. And we also invest a lot of efforts now in training the people and keeping them. Because what happens in Africa is that once you have people who gain some experience, because there are very few of them, other companies will come and try to snatch them. So that is one thing that we encountered. The other thing that we are encountering is the limited GDP per capita. So although those countries go through very strong growth and there is a strong process of urbanization and regionalization, all of this is good, but still today, the amount of the population that can afford, that have the buying power to afford to buy a broadband-enabled computer, or have a computer, have a tablet, and buy a modem to it, or the USB dongle, or whatever it takes, is pretty limited. So this is why, in our business plan, consciously, we tackle, at least in this very first stage, the urban areas, the cities, and we go to this part of the population that can afford using our services.
And that part of the population is beginning to grow. There is a growing middle class, we hear. Based on your experience, would you recommend other Western or foreign companies to invest in Africa?
I think it's a very good question, if I may say. It's not an easy road. And when you come with a startup, you have to be willing, first of all, to do the investment, second, to stay on there, take the risk, and you have to bring, I think for us, the most important factor why we are successful is the fact that we've done it before. We master this because it's exactly the type of thing that our team did. We know how to acquire the licenses, we know how to deploy the networks, and we know how to do the marketing and sales for the mass market, for the residential area and for the small, medium enterprises. If you just come to Africa as a newcomer with no special expertise, then it's very difficult. For us, it has been like our franchise in a way. We come and we try to copy-paste what we've successfully did before. And as I said, because it's Africa, we encountered a lot of new realities, and we had to learn how to go through these challenges. One example, we had in our past already built 4 successful telecom operations, which we sold. One of them was a pan-European ISP. One of the major things for the success of that ISP that in 2 years acquired 1.5 million subscribers was that we were partners with MediaMarkt, who is the largest retail electronic chain in Europe. So we were able to distribute our products in this retail chain, electronic retail chain. We came to Africa and we were looking for MediaMarkt, but of course we found nothing. Very little electronic stores, and the distribution chains are still not there. So you go there, you find surprises, you have to learn how to tackle them. The way we do it is by having our own showroom. We have distribution channels which are using the local distribution channels, which can come down to the guys who sit in with the umbrella on the street, and they might be selling bananas and others, shoe polish, but they will also be selling our prepaid cards for our services. You've got to be very creative. You've got to think differently of how to tackle those things as opposed to what we are used to in Europe or the other parts of the world where we have been operating.
Well, that's what it's like working in a new frontier. Thank you very much, Anat, for joining us at INSEAD Knowledge.
Thank you.